Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Fishing Freak 18. It's been a while since I made a video. Started college not too long ago and been working at an automotive dealership. I'm trying to get into automotive technology and become an automotive technician. But anyway, it's one of the reasons I've been so busy. I haven't been making too many projects. As you know, a lot of the other videos on my channel, I've got some homemade projects on there, some weed eater bikes and chainsaw power skewer that a buddy of mine made a long time ago. So I haven't updated that kind of stuff in a while. But anyways, what I've been working on recently. This is actually my cousin's old Razor E325S, and the electric motor burned out on it, and they were going to throw it out, so I said, nah, don't throw that thing out, I'll fab up something for it. So I did a gas conversion. Well, by my college I found a lawn shop that had a bunch of old motors, and we just go in there and ask them how much they want for these old motors, and they give us a price. I got this Poulan chainsaw for for 15 bucks, excuse me. It's a 56cc Poulan 3400 counterbob. Nothing wrong with it, runs fine. It was just missing a few of the saw parts. But anyway, this is a scooter. I would do a riding vid, but I need another chain tensioner. It's pretty simple. The scooter itself is the same for the most part. I made some mounts with bed frame. Everything on here is bed frame that's mounted with. As you can see, it's been cut up and welded in certain spots. It's mounted on the bar stud, and then two where the handle post used to be, there's some U-bolts going through there keeping it down. Those are the only three mounts, and it's sturdy as hell. It ain't going nowhere. It's got a centrifugal clutch like all chainsaws got, but the trickiest part of this whole operation was getting the right kind of teeth for that number 25 chain to fit on, because chainsaw clutches don't quite have the right teeth. So how I did that, it's not too hard if you got the right tools. Use a bench grinder and get as concentric of a circle as you can, similar to this, and grind those teeth off. And once you get it pretty close, by eyeballing it, if you have access to a lathe like I do, put it in the lathe and just turn it and cut that metal till it's a concentric circle. And that's the best way to do it. Once you do that, you got to buy a small sprocket. Don't go anywhere from 10 to about 13 or 14 teeth. Don't go any bigger than 1 inch or the gear ratio will be off. Gear ratios are very important with these projects. And then what you do is you got to figure out how to open up the hole in that sprocket if it's not big enough. Best thing to do is use the lathe again and bore it out. A lot of people don't have access to a lathe though, so you can do it by drilling or grinding. It's really a pain in the ass like that. I've done it in the past, and it's not perfectly circular, so it really sucks. But yeah, lathe makes things a lot easier. But anyway, once you do that, take the sprocket, put it over the clutch so that you get a 90-degree angle coming up, and then what you want to do is weld a weld going all the way around that, and that'll hold it on. Well, that's pretty much what I did. I took this one and took those teeth off, and then bought a number 25 sprocket off eBay. It's a 13 tooth, I think. It's really small. It's like a 1 inch. And then put it on there and machined it on the lathe and welded it up, and it stayed on fine. I ain't got no problems with it. That was the trickiest part of this whole thing, but once that's done, it's pretty easy. So what we got here, like I said, the bed frame's mounting it. I slotted this bed frame so you can move the motor through, and then the U-bolts are holding it down in the back, and it's got a few little small welds keeping that mount on. This thing's running a jack shaft. It's 2 sets of chains and sprockets. I've got pressed pillow block bearing units on here that are bolted through, and they work pretty well. It's got about a 12.5 to 1 ratio. I had about a 6.5 to 1 ratio before, and that just burned out the clutch. That didn't really work out too well. So what I had to do was get a higher ratio, and the only way to really do it was to get a jack shaft set up. So how I calculated that was, this is a 2-inch sprocket, and there's a 1 inch on the clutch, going to another 1 inch right here, and then a 6.5 inch right here. So to calculate that ratio, divide this one by the one on the clutch, and then divide the one on the wheel by this 1 inch one right here. So you get 2 divided by 1, which gives you 2. Then you get 6.5 divided by 1, which gives you 6.5. And then the answer from those two equations you multiply together, and that's your final output ratio. So my output ratio is 12.5 to 1, which is good. You want a fairly high ratio with a motor this small, because these little two-stroke engines really don't have much low-end torque, but they rev out really high on the high end. So it's good to have a high ratio like that to get it going from the start. So that's pretty much how that was designed. Pretty simple jack shaft setup if you can't see it. But yeah, goes through. So chain tensioner right here off the scooter. I've got a piece of angle iron right here that was been cut and welded right here. Bolted through it. As you can see, the tensioner is pushing against the chain, and then it's spring loaded and it goes down to the frame, and that just keeps it on so you can pull it off when you want to take the chain off. I got to make another one because it keeps flying off, but other than that, it's not bad. Throttle cable. Just bicycle cable going a bicycle handle coming down, zip tied to the frame, and there's an end stop right here that it goes through, and then there's a guide that it goes through right here to keep it from hitting the block of the motor, and then it goes through the carburetor throttle lever, and it's looped in there and then zip tied to hold the loop. And then for the return spring, there's a paper clip spring part off the paper clip. And you see when I activate this, it works and brings it right back, never comes out, and it works just fine. It was a really easy setup. A friend of mine actually came up with that idea, and it was really cool of him to do that. I didn't think of that, but good job on his part. Let's see, that's pretty much it. It's got the stock brakes that these things have. And other than that, there's not too much more. I plan on cutting this right here, and then maybe putting a basket over the motor, or a big 1 gallon fuel tank or something for longer trips. But that's pretty much it with this one. Just wanted to do a little overview of it. If you guys have any questions on it, just leave me a comment on the video, or private message me if you really want to get in depth with it. I'll let you know how I made all this. I was also wondering if you guys could give me some ideas. I got a 64cc Makita chainsaw right there that runs. It just needs a carburetor. 28cc Husqvarna weed eater with my old GoPed pipe on it. It's a pretty sick little motor. It runs good. The one next to the Husqvarna is just a parts motor. There's another Poulan 3400 right here that runs good. That needs to go on something. That orange Husqvarna is actually my buddy's, so we're not going to be putting that on anything until I get his say so. And then that's just a parts motor. But yeah, these three right here need to go on something. So if you guys got any ideas on what I should make, let me know. Also got a 4-stroke Craftsman tiller motor right here. Just needs a new coil. It needs to go on something. I was thinking maybe a Razor ground force go-kart for that Makita chainsaw, but I don't really know. So if you guys got an idea, just let me know. Also got this 46cc Poulan saw back here. It needs to go on something. So yep. But anyway, like I said, thanks for watching, guys, and if y'all got any questions, just PM me and we'll get them figured out. So stay tuned for a riding video, and we'll see y'all later.